Turns out I lied about it being a pound. Blech, I'm getting smoked. Ah! Help! Send help! Hello. This is our first ever camping trip together. Finn's first ever camping trip out, and it's my first solo overnight in quite a few years. I've just been crawling around inside a hot tent. I'd also forgot to press record, so you didn't see me putting it up. All you missed out on was me not putting it up very well for about 10 minutes. But now we're good. I've got stacks of room in there. It's hot today, spring's arrived and it's brought summer with it. It's about 22, 23 degrees today, which in freedom units is, I don't know, about 70 something. It's been so cold here recently, I'm just not used to it. We're not slumming it, we've got plenty of stuff with us. Finn's here, it's his first ever camp. I've got a silly hat because mosquitoes keep biting me through my other cap. Got a steak, we've got a ration to cook for lunch. Finn's got his food and he's going to have some steak as well, because he's neglected obviously. And we're going to do some exploring. But first up, I'm going to get the rest of my stuff in the tent and set up, and I'm going to get a fire going. I am very warm. So we're out here in some woods that we have completely to ourselves. I'm able to harvest wood, going to make a fire. Going to cook a steak tonight. I've got an absolute beast of a steak. Finn's currently running around somewhere. He's off his lead. I thought I'd let him burn some energy off. He keeps coming back, so that's the main thing for me. I bought a cold drink with me that I wrapped up, and I cannot tell you how nice it is right now. Hey bird. Narrowly avoided knocking the camera over. He's managed to get wet somehow. I haven't found a stream yet, but there must be one nearby. He is happy as days, and I'm just going to sit and cool off for a minute. I'm not camping light, as you can see, so this has been quite a long journey in. I left at about 7 AM. It was about an hour to get here, and it's now 20 to 12. So it's been about 3 hours 40 minutes of walking and carrying heavy stuff. I've done a trip here and back to the car and back here as well. This isn't a lightweight camp by any means. First time for Finn, so I'm bringing all the things I might need for Finn, and then next time I'll know what I do or don't need. I'm going to be having a nice evening. I'm not going to be slumming it. I've got a cot and an air mattress. It's a camping mattress, but it's not it's not lightweight by any means. It's a X-Bed Multi-Mat 10, and it's as comfortable as a mattress. Yeah, really going for luxury. I hurt my back recently, so it'd be quite nice to not sleep on the floor. I'm going to sit and cool down for a minute and probably get some insect repellent on. The mosquitoes are out, and then we're going to get a fire going and chill. It's about an hour later now. I did make another trip back to the car actually, but now we're good. We're set for the next day. It is warm. I found some dead standing. Got a young birch there, sort of dead standing. So I'm taking that. I'm going to go around and see if there's any more dead standing, because I don't want to chop down the live stuff if I don't have to, although I can. It's a nice little spot. Got a bit of sun if I want some sun. But then around me I'm just surrounded mostly by birch saplings, hazel. There's some oak around, some pine, different sorts of pine. So yeah, I'm going to harvest a bit more wood, get enough for a fire and then double it, as is tradition. I'm going to do something a bit different today. I do have a lighter with me, but I'm not going to use it if I can possibly help it, because I have never done this before. I have proper flint and proper steel. I bought this kit from John Fenner off the Bushcraft UK forum. He sold it to me at the winter Bushmoot. If you've not heard of the Bushmoot, I can recommend it, have a look. But anyway, John Fenner sold me this, and he also was kind enough to show me how to actually do it. I've never used a proper flint and steel to start a fire before, so this will be my first ever time. So thanks, John. Unless it doesn't work, I'll probably need some of your special homemade port. If it doesn't work, that'll catch a spark. I've got some char cloth which I made. So char cloth is super easy to make. You just need pure cotton, and you can put it in a cigarette tin with a little hole in, put it on a fire, wait for it to stop smoking. As soon as it stops smoking, take it off, you've got char cloth. So what John taught me, right, is that you look for a sharp edge of the flint, you take your steel, and you go in straight downwards on that sharp edge, where you said is nose to toes. So you go down like that, and the spark will fly upwards. So you put your char cloth on the top, and char cloth catches a spark really easily. Almost. There we go. You see that? Got char cloth going there. Then I've got some straw that I've kind of fluffed up. I'm going to pop that in the straw. Fire! Yeah, that's hot. And getting some birch bark on there. Whoa, smoky! No, sorry. Happy days. I am definitely happy with that. My first ever proper flint and steel fire. I've used a ferrocerium rod before loads of times. They're super easy because the spark off those burns about several thousand degrees, whereas the flint and steel is a lot of a cooler spark. So you really need to catch it on the char cloth. But yeah, thanks John, that was cool. I'm trying a few new bits of equipment. I've got the OneTigris Rock Fortress, which is the TP, It's got the inner netting as well because it's mosquito and tick season, and Finn and I can do without that shit. I've also got a little stainless steel grate, so I'm giving that a go. I've got a cast iron one at home, but that's a bit more of a heavy setup, and the last thing I needed today is more weight to carry. I am just getting my lunch on the go, so we're going to have, it's a British Army ration for lunch, and it is pasta and meatballs, and that should be heated up nicely soon. So I'm going to have that for my lunch, then we're going to probably gather a bit more firewood, process a bit more of that, and then chill out for the rest of the day. It has been a hard day so far, lots of walking, lots of heavy weight, and setting up camp and everything, and it's really warm. Finn's having a great time. I'm hot and sweaty. I'm going to enjoy my meatballs and pasta, hopefully. Good news. It's ready. Meatballs and pasta. Beef meatballs. Loads of stuff. Cooked pasta shells. Tomatoes. Basically exactly the sort of stuff you'd expect in meatballs and pasta in a bag. I am incredibly looking forward to this because I have not eaten since 6 PM yesterday, and it is now 2:45, as in 14:45. I'm hungry. Let's get into this. Came off in one. Beauty. My trusty aluminium spun. Nice and hot, just what I need on this nice hot day. Here is a meatball. I think that's how they say it in Italy. They probably eat this in Italy. If you go to Florence or something, you'll get a bag of this. They haven't skimped with the meatballs. There's quite a lot in there. I can count 6 already, and there's, you know, there's a pile, so I can't see all of them. Let's give it a go. You know what? That's not bad. It tastes about the same as a tinned meatball. So if you've ever had a tinned meatball, it tastes like a good quality tinned meatball though, to be fair. It doesn't taste... You know when sometimes you get stuff out of a tin and it tastes like cat food or something? This doesn't taste like that. It's got some firm bite to it. Oh, that's one. It does look very processed. Don't know if you can see that. And the pasta shells are kind of falling apart. There's a bunch of them there. They're only little ones because they've already been cooked. So when you're reheating it, you're just cooking it again, and that doesn't really do pasta any favours. The sauce, it's not over tomatoey, so it is tomatoey, but it's not, you know, when it just tastes sort of acidic and there's too much there. It's quite well balanced actually. There's about the right balance of salt, sweetness and acidity to it. Again, it tastes like something you get out of a tin. It reminds me of the you know, like the Heinz tinned ravioli you can get in tomato sauce. Not bad. I'm going to finish my lunch. And then we've got some more firewood to collect, because I didn't really collect as much as I needed. I wanted some food and I was hot, so I thought I'd have a rest, have some food, and then going to go and collect some more. There are loads of meatballs in there. It's about probably 10 or 12. I did try and film last week. It just, it was one of those weeks that just wasn't working out. Yeah, so my dad got taken into hospital. He's got dementia, and he's late 70s, and he's had dementia for a while now. And he went into hospital, and we thought that he probably wasn't going to come out of hospital. But he is now out, but he's into palliative care, so it's kind of a question of waiting. So it was a really hard week, and I did try and get out that following weekend to try and reset my brain, but just wasn't working. My head wasn't in it. There was millions of mosquitoes eating me alive. I got out with the camera and everything, found a spot. Excuse me, I tried to find a spot and just got bit to death. And we just came home because there was no point stressing out about it. So yes, my dad is currently stable. So I'm kind of glad to be outdoors, getting my head together, spend some time with Finn. I think it'll do me some good. I think one of the cruelest things about dementia, especially sort of old age dementia where there's lots of other stuff going on as well health-wise, is you have to keep prepping yourself. Every single thing could be it, you know. Like, we were pretty sure that this was going to be it for him, and in some ways that would be a relief for, you know, for him, because dementia is a really horrible disease. It is hard on the old bonds. Wouldn't wish it on anyone. Horrible disease. Anyway, this meatball and pasta is great, so I'm going to finish this, and then you can join me collecting more firewood in a bit.
How the fuck did you do that? Come on. How did you do that?
Hey Finn, come here!
Good boy! Come on. Well done, buddy. Well done.
Well, I am tired. Processed a bunch of wood. I think we've taken 3 or 4 birch saplings. Some of them sort of, you know, about, what's that, about 4-inch diameter probably. So we've got a couple of thicker chunks there, which is going to be good because I'm going to need something to put out a bunch of heat for the steak. But not all at once. I want it to be a consistent heat for a while, so that will be nice for that. And now I've finished doing all the chores, apart from cooking, In the words of Steve Wallace, time for step 2. This is it's a low alcohol lager, so it's 2%. And I quite like the low alcohol ones. Just try not drink as much, really. But it's nice, refreshing beer. It is quite expensive though. It's like, I think it's about 16 quid for 6 or something crazy like that. It's not cheap. Maybe 12 quid. Yeah, 12 quid for 6. And they're 350ml bottles. But it's cold as well. One of the benefits of all the struggling with carrying stuff in is that I have cold drinks. I've got a couple of IPAs for later, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm saving those for the steak. So I'm going to have this now, chill by the fire. Oh, and I'm opening it with, this is a Swiss Army knife Farmer X Alox. So the Alox means it's got the aluminium scales, and the X means that it's got scissors, which are actually really useful and good. And other than that, it's a farmer, so it's got a saw, a knife, bottle opener, can opener, and an awl as well. So that's an awl, and that's actually really handy for getting little holes in bits of wood, or belts, or whatever you want. And then that's the main blade on it. So the way this works is you've got the can opener and the bottle opener, and at the end that's the screwdriver. So that's a flathead screwdriver, and that's a small flathead, but you can use it as a on most Phillips screws. So it's a really handy little tool, this, and I found myself carrying it pretty much every day, all day. Fully UK legal as well, everyday carry. I think the Swiss Army knives are cool because they don't look scary. So, you know, most people know what a Swiss Army knife is, and they don't really care that much. Anyway, step 2. Oh, that is refreshing. Oh, I've also got some, I bought a non-alcoholic New England IPA, which I have had before, and it's really good. I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, it tastes just like the real thing, but I've never found that with beer, alcohol-free beer before. But this actually tastes like drinking a proper nice hazy IPA. Amazing. And I got it from Ocado. They sell it in, I don't know if it's just online or not. I've not seen it in any shops physically, but they sell it on Ocado, on the website. And it's really good because it just scratches the itch of having a nice cold hoppy IPA, and it tastes just like you're having a proper IPA, but with, you know, 0 alcohol, so that's quite nice during the week. Cheers. Just a cold drink right now, I can't tell you how nice that is. I'm really glad to be out. I needed some headspace. Hey buddy, Finn's been really good, and he's been off lead a bunch. Basically just left him to it. I let him off his lead, and he's just cutting around, exploring, coming back soaking wet somehow, and loving life, really. I mean, for him this is a dream, isn't it? Just sniffing and exploring all day. Yeah, he's a really good boy, and I'm happy that I can start bringing him on some of these adventures, like overnight adventures. He's got himself wrapped around the tree again. I'm gonna have to unwrap him. He's really tired, actually. He doesn't want to admit it. You know, like a toddler that's tired and grumpy and doesn't want to admit that they're tired, and they just pass out. That's what he'll do. He's exhausted. It's time for me to start preparing dinner. It's going to be a feast. I have a massive steak. I have a little bit of extra meat for Finn as well, although he'll probably get a bunch of the steak. I've got some potatoes and I've got some asparagus. Seasoning wise, I've borrowed from our American friends. This stuff is good. You can't buy it in the UK, apart from if you get it imported. Lowry's seasoned salt. It's really, really good on steaks. And the Lowry's Montreal Spice, I think it's called, is really good as well. But yeah, so this is nice. Lowry's, Mac Lowry. Thought it was big. It's about a pound of steak. It's a It's a forerib of beef, which usually you'd roast, but actually if you cut off the cap, so I'm not putting that in, that's for thin. If you cut off this bit around here, the cap, you're just left with a bone-in ribeye then. And you look at the marbling on that, it looks amazing. So I'm going to cut that off. That's going to go to Finn. And then that bit's going to go to me. Turns out I lied about it being a pound. I'm getting smoked. Ah! Help! Send help! I lied about it being a pound because I got two of them. 2 kilos. So it's 1 kilo, which is 2.2 pounds. Lowries. Yeah, good boy. Nice and gentle. Well done. Slap. This is what self-control looks like. See how tired he is. Yeah, don't worry. He's not going hungry. It's looking alright. I was going for medium, but I've got a range from medium through to rare. Come on. This is that alcohol-free IPA. I just didn't fancy any alcohol. I think I got too hot today. Bit dehydrated. Slightly overdid the asparagus. Dummy thick. Potatoes are good. All in all, a veritable feast. Finn and I are going to finish our dinner. Then we'll get back with you after that. Probably have a bit of a chill out. Van der Streek Funhouse, non-alcoholic New England IPA. I really like my IPAs, and I have done for a long time. And I genuinely can't tell that this is alcohol-free. Good boy, well done, bud. Food was absolutely delicious. You won't be surprised to hear that Finn enjoyed his steak as well. As the world's most spoiled dog. Just sat letting that go down now. It's getting dark. Sunset's not for another 35 minutes. But it always gets dark sooner in the woods. Today's been fun. Finn really doesn't know what to do with all the new sounds in the forest or in the woods at night. All the animal sounds and just sounds he's not heard before. He's having a great time. This is my view. Poke. Here's a good boy. He's a bit nervous with all the sounds. We'll be okay though, bud. We'll be good.
Smoke in the eyes.
I'm not getting all emotional, I just keep getting blasts of smoke in the eyeball. He really doesn't know what to do with all the new sounds. Just getting him used to chilling with me by camp. He's a bit jumpy. As you can probably see, the daylight's fading quite fast. Official sunset's in 15 minutes and we're in the woods, so it's getting dark a lot earlier than that. Don't know how dark it's going to look on camera. Sometimes the camera makes it look a bit lighter. Yeah, it's going to get very dark very quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to chill out by the fire, relax, probably get an early-ish night, and then wake up early tomorrow when the sun comes out at 5 AM. Here's the smoke again. I swear it's sentient. Just follows me around. Ugh, right in the eyeballs. Just very emotional again. But yes, so we're going to chill out, get an early night. Sun's going to come out well early tomorrow, and I'm sure that we will be woken up by the cacophony, but that's okay because it's nice to be woken up naturally. We'll see how Finn does tonight. I think he's going to be a bit spooked with all the new noises, especially if we get, you know, foxes and badgers and deer and stuff. But hey, he's done really well today. We had some good food. I got a fire going with a proper actual flint and steel, which is really cool. That's a first. And this is my first solo camp in years. Absolutely years. And it's Finn's first ever. So it's been a day of firsts. I may catch up with you later, but if not, we'll catch up again in the morning. Good morning. Finn did really well last night. I struggled sleeping a little bit. But that's okay, Finn did really well. And we're just going to get packed up and head off now. We've got a few shuttles to the car and back, so it's going to be a busy couple of hours. But yeah, in terms of the tent itself, it did really well. A little bit of condensation, but kind of expect that with an open bottom tent. The inner kept all the flies and nasties out, and there was room for my bed and my mattress in there. And we went to bed with full stomachs. Food was good. This woodland's really, really nice. Not seen a soul. Not heard a soul apart from, you know, way in the distance in traffic and things. So that's been really nice. I've soaked where the fire was and covered all that back up. I'm just going to get things sorted in here, do my general admin, and then start heading back to the car. So if you've made it this far, thank you ever so much for watching. We'll definitely be doing more trips, probably a few overnights, and this tent's a hot tent, so I can also overnight in winter if I get a stove, so there's plenty more potential there. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next one. That's where my tent was. That's where the fire was. That's where the dog is. Leave no trace.